Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux. Today we are going to have a fun panel discussion on EU 451. The EU is banning everything. Yeah, this is kind of an interesting article that came up, and we have a panel discussion on. Right now we have Quint and Vince on right now. Let's see if anyone else jumps on. Any of you supporters, either Think Life Media or Patreon, the links are over there. And you guys can jump on. I'm going to try and do a better job of monitoring the comments and getting the comment discussions in. That was one of the very valid criticisms from last time. So, all right. So how you guys doing?
I'm fine. I have the comments open right here also.
Cool.
Yeah, same here. Doing all right. The flu hit me pretty hard this week, but I'm recovering.
Ouch. Yeah, we were joking with him. He's an anti-vaxxer, right? Yeah, actually, my mother's a nurse, and she's like, yeah, we either have to get the flu vaccine or we have to wear a face mask at all times at work. I'm like, man, I might take the face mask. I don't know.
Face mask will scare everyone, though.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's fairly normal because we see even down here in our liberal town, we have people meandering around town with face masks too. So it's like, why? And they're always of Chinese or Chinese descent. Any idea what that might be, Vince?
I think it's because we're smarter. No.
Ouch! Burn!
No, because especially like in Japan, they're so used to people being crammed in subways and sharing germs. It's the norm to see people wearing face masks.
Interesting. Yeah.
One thing we have
yeah, good.
One thing we have down here right now is we have a really high pollen count right now. And I have tissues over here, so I may have to go off the stream for a second to blow my nose.
Yeah, I think allergies can be just as bad.
Yeah. I have really bad pollen allergies. And the pollen count right over here right now is over 1,000.
Do you take antihistamines?
Yeah, I take medicine for it. I do eye drops. I have like nasal spray, and I have Zyrtec.
All right. I'm gonna try, and Dan said he didn't get the link either. So
let me check to see if I got it.
Dan, I'm going to send one directly to you this time.
I don't have it either.
Really? So Vince got it.
Yeah, it appeared in my email about 15 minutes ago.
Let me see if it's in spam. Oh, it was in spam.
Okay. I don't know.
I think it's funny.
Maybe
my
thing
email
showed up
server,
in spam. So.
My email server works perfectly fine when I send stuff to people on Gmail, and yours doesn't.
Well, sometimes like it's kind of there's like an ebb and flow sometimes when you run your own server. All right, Dan, I sent you a link directly this time. You should be in my supporter link, but check your spam folders too, I guess. And anybody else that jumps on, we should have a link. I haven't heard anything from Ben, so. Maybe he should be around. I usually either get an email or maybe it went to everybody's spam list. I don't know. But anyway, we are going to be talking about this exciting news that comes out of the Internet Archive. I mean, we know the Internet Archive is they're just harboring the baddies down there. I'm telling you. But we'll kind of get into the articles. But before I do, let's say hello to everybody. Loopy's on. Greetings, Loopy. UK Beast. Hello, Techno Bismol. How are you doing, Techno? We have to get you on there sometime, man. All right, KO2610, your number is here. Frostbite, hello. Keith Richardson, greetings. Doug Peck, greetings to you. Mitchell Morrison, greetings from Phoenix. All right, what's hotter, Phoenix or Atlanta? Matt, how's it going there? Kitty says this mouse pad is mine. That's right, Kitty. And he's still stealing it. Yes, the kitty has indeed claimed the mouse pad. He loves the mouse pad for some reason, so I just let him have it. I have a mouse pad on the desk, but I'm using the mouse on the hard desk instead of the mouse pad because there's a cat on it.
Actually, it's 79 right here now.
Ooh, that's exciting. Thomas Holt, greetings. George Z88, hello to you. Robert Fitzpatrick, hello. Matt Sorson, hello to you. William Armstrong, greetings. Let's see. Dan, did you get that link yet? Frostbite XZ, greetings. Gnostic, hello there. English Bob is back on the peppermint. All right. STS, how's it going there? STS, I think you were on Patreon at this point. You can grab the link and jump in if you would like. It's over on Patreon. All right. Hello there, Tina's World, and salutations to you. Let there be memes on the EU bans. T-Series sued PewDiePie. No surprise. Oh, really? T-Series sued PewDiePie? For what? Oh, no! They're beating us!
Hey, Dan.
How's it going?
Hello, how's everybody?
Hi.
I don't know where to find spam in my email because I don't have a spam folder set up,
What are you using?
which you gave me.
Yeah, but what are you using for your client?
Thunderbird.
There should be a thing. If you're set up on an IMAP at least, just scroll down and there's junk underneath there. Just
Yeah,
click
but
on
the
junk.
filter's set to set everything to the direct fold inbox folder.
Yeah, what Thunderbird? Oh, on Thunderbird?
Yes. All
I know,
the filters.
Interesting.
One thing I don't know if this applies to you guys on cPanel, but what I've found is I'm on software called MailCal now, and it actually loads all the folders when you log. You have to log into the webmail client first, and then you configure your IMAP client. It will load all the folders then.
All right.
Ooh, I'd
Try
rather
that.
use Pop than IMAP.
Yeah, and if you're using POP, it should definitely always work. I set a few of these up on IMAPs for businessy reasons. All right, we're going to go ahead and leave my spot over here, and let's go ahead and jump on in. EU 451 is EU banning everything. That is our brief topic for today. And so before we jump in, Dan, you want to start out like initial thoughts? EU 451.
My initial thoughts are is EU banning everything. Okay, they took away all the people's guns. So right there you have things to run amok. There's nothing to keep them in check. The citizens have nothing to protect themselves with. So the EU and all its leaders and policemen and everything can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
There's nothing to stop them.
All they're waiting for is a guy with a funny little square mustache. I mean, that's all they're waiting for. So
yeah, you know, and the way I read the articles, the police didn't have any system to keep them in check. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Now, and that was the first thought.
Yeah, we'll get into this. It's not in full reality. This isn't the whole EU. We'll kind of get into where some of the EU stuff came from in this. But anything else there, Dan?
Well, I had mentioned Canada and the UK and stuff like, and Australia as well, and they're about things like that.
Yeah,
For sure. Yep.
Vince, you want to go ahead since you're talking now? You want to go ahead and fill in?
Well, the thing that concerns me the most that these days we seem to be judging first and then checking the evidence later.
Mm-hmm.
That's concerning.
That is concerning.
Very much so. Quint.
Yeah, after reading the article, the impression I got is that the EU is basically like saying, "Oh, the Internet Archive is this place where people can upload files and archive them. There must be a lot of bad stuff on here. Let's ban it."
Yeah, which is partially true. I mean, if you're unaware of it, like Toss puts his podcasty stuff on the Internet Archive, so you can find Toss's podcasts and stuff over there. But what they were initially known and started as is basically a repository to archive what was on the internet. And so what they would end up doing is they would have bugs and bots that would crawl. So one of my favorite things to do is I actually started my Christian blogging. It's my oldest site. And I think I started that in 2004. And you can go back and they actually have some of the earliest snapshots of that site. Like I ran that on a really old CMS back, that was 15 years ago. Ran that thing on an old CMS and you can see that one. You could even see it before I implemented that CMS, I think. There's the first WordPress versions of it, the second WordPress versions of it. It's interesting to go back and see. And sometimes it's useful for fixing old websites. I might have to go into the Internet Archive and download some site or some source. And
What,
so a lot of it is just archives.
Some of the things that I've used it before is to download, especially from companies like Microsoft, to download old software that they don't have on their website anymore.
Correct. Yep. And
I've actually used, I wanted to get it, I had a Windows 10 VM, and I wanted to install Windows Live Essentials 2012, so I can, which is just like Windows, I think it's Windows Mail, Windows Photos, Photo Gallery, and Windows Movie Maker, just so I wouldn't have to use the ones that are built into Windows 10 that are crap.
Yeah.
And I was able to get a copy from that from the Internet Archive.
Yeah, well, not anymore, man. It might be banned. I mean...
Yeah, I've been noticing YouTube stuff I've looked at a couple of years ago, they've completely taken down, and you can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, so that's that.
I mean, it's simple things like old MTV rock videos.
Yeah, and there's some things I used to like to watch every now and again. So I'm glad that there's applications you can use to download some videos that you want to watch later. You know. Tech Business got to go and do his math homework. That's a bummer, but do that math homework.
Wonder if we can get him on later.
Yeah, he'll jump back on later if he can. Of course, we try and keep these ones just at 1 hour because I have another stream coming up at 9 o'clock on my other channel. Let's see. Everyone is allowed to conceal carry in Missouri. Yeah, there's several states that are opening up their carry conceal laws, which is good. It's an Opera if you get the Chrome extensions. No, you do not miss the EU discussion of Boris. We are just getting started. We had our introductory remarks, and we'll go ahead and, in fact, we will get started on our articles right about now. I gotta find my article view. There we go. All right, so I first spotted this over at The Verge. Because they're on the verge of doing good work. I mean, not really, but you know. All right, so archive.org hit with hundreds of false terrorist content notices from the EU. Literally. It's like, they're like, you guys are pushing hate, man. You're pushing terrorism and hate. You got to take a bunch of stuff off. So what did this consist of? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things like, you know, Peter Rabbit, Alice in Wonderland, the Bible. I mean, these things are just bad stuff, man. I'm telling you. Also, I'll mention, too, Brian Lunduke did a video on this today as well. So definitely have a look at his when ours is over. You watch it in between this stream and my next stream on my other channel.
Is he in color today?
No, he is not in color today. And it looks as though he is not yet shaven yet. For you guys that don't know, he had some...
That's a running joke. He does everything in black and white.
Yeah. So, all right. So, of course, the EU is drafting this issue, this regulation, which would basically mean Internet Archive would basically have to die. But going back to their actual post on this matter, so they received 550 URLs as terrorist content in the last week. This isn't over a long period of time. This is a 1 week's period of time. Now, it turns out this wasn't the EU as a whole. This is that each country has the ability to send from an EU, and this happened to be a French national internet reference unit. So this originated in France. Some law enforcement in France sent through the Europol address to Internet Archive to take down these things. So what do these consist of? Well, texts. Let's go ahead and have a look at some of these things here. Did you guys dig through and dig? I mean, Smithsonian and Grateful Dead. Yeah, this is an archive, the Smithsonian Museum, the Grateful Dead, the Television Archive, TV News, Software, Genealogy. PubMed was an interesting one. So initial thoughts. Look at this list. So major collection pages, scholarly articles, government-produced broadcasts and reports. Like government-produced reports. Take these down, man. We think they're terrorists.
Define terrorist archives. What do they mean by that?
That's a good question. We don't know. And the laws are too vague to describe.
I mean, it's one thing if you got a website on making explosives and stuff like that. It's a completely other thing if you're sharing car accidents that had, per se, someone that was a terrorist and it hit a fire hydrant.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, and I wrote a list of notes here we'll get into, but any other initial thoughts? Any other initial thoughts on this? Dan, go ahead. What are your initial thoughts on seeing this list and what the EU is asking, or what French is asking?
Well, like I said, my first initial thought is what do they consider as terrorist information? You know, that's a big scope to look at, and it goes from the most extreme down to the tiniest thing.
And if you ask some people in Silicon Valley companies who give us these platforms, well, that means anything that's conservative and Republican.
You know, over a month ago, I was watching a live stream from one of our UK friends, and he had posted a newspaper article from their local area. If you even look at one of these sites, they can come to your door and haul you away, no questions asked.
Yeah. So that's why I changed the title for you guys. I changed the title to EU 451.
So, you know, I mean, the French are typically pretty left-leaning, so you know, it depends. Whose politics is this according to? And do we know how these sites were actually identified? Was it some sort of an AI, some sort of a bot?
That was something Brian Leduc asked. Is this an AI or is this some mad person who's just like, oh, I hate this stuff, We don't know.
Because any reasonable person should identify that the Smithsonian should be. I mean, it's history.
So here's the Smithsonian libraries. Yeah, go ahead, Quinn.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can I send Pizza a link he wants to join?
I already sent it to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pizza.
So, pizza. All right, Quint, your initial thoughts about this. And for you guys watching the screen, this is...
So this was about the content they were blocking?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they're really overreacting, sort of like what I said before, is that a lot, like, they seriously want to block the Bible. Just because...
Yeah.
Seriously, there's all this stuff, like, that's not terrorism. The Bible is not terrorism. All this stuff that they want to block has no reason to be blocked, which it doesn't make any sense why they are blocking it. I guess they just sort of have a stereotype that everything on the Internet Archive is bad.
And that is, well, that raises that question Brian Leduc asked is, you know, is this just a bot? If this is just a bot, then we can understand, but that this raises the massive error that if this is a bot doing this, man, where is the oversight? This is if this is a bot, this is the biggest problem we have is the fact that bots are going to destroy us. So this is the Smithsonian Library. Just make sure we're still previewing that. So
if this is a bot, this kills AI right on the spot.
Yes, it does. Completely. Greetings, pizza.
Hey, is my new webcam working? I just got this webcam today.
Hey, looks good. Looks good.
And behind the pizza.
Actually, correction, I got it yesterday, but the cord was too short, so I had to get a USB extension cable.
I should have warned you that the C15's cord is about half the length as the 922's cord.
Is that the one that you got, the C615?
I think he told me it was his kitty cam.
Yeah.
That is my kitty cam.
I know I sent you one, but it was too expensive.
Yeah, it was. I had a strict budget of $30.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
This one was...
So we're going to jump back on talk here. Actually, let me jump over to comments real quick. Okay.
I still need to adjust this.
All right. Memes in the black market sold on USB sticks. That's right, man. And one of the things is that all they're going to do is drive this stuff further into the dark web, which is okay.
I'm willing to go on the dark web to get memes.
False flagging. EU, just sit down. You're drunk again. Yep, I agree. Thank you, Analog, for that super chat. Just in case super chats get banned. That's right. Super chat now. They might get banned. All right. Free will is their threat for the government. Government's fear of losing control of their citizens. When definitions are kept vague, it's done intentionally to enforce at their own whims. That is a major, major, major problem. Is that, as Dan said, we have to get the definitions set right. We got to start with a definition. Anytime you're in a debate, he who defines his terms better will win, because we know what we're talking about.
If this is an overreach of government, this is really bad.
Somebody said Live Weeks will be on the EU's hit list.
All right. Let's go ahead and have a look at, of course, okay, here are the texts they want to ban. American libraries, community text, Canadian libraries, University of Toronto libraries, Biodiversity Heritage Library. Oh, boy. European libraries who want to ban their own history. California digital libraries. We could all probably ban California. No, kidding. We love you, California. Cornell
California
University.
California is the United States communist state.
Look at this. Books for people with print disabilities. We are now hurting the disabled people. Government documents, Internet Archive books. Project Gutenberg. If you guys are unaware of Project Gutenberg, you can go over to Project Gutenberg and download ebooks, audiobooks as well, but ebooks just from a lot of different things. But they want to ban this page. It has such manifestos as Alice in Wonderland, A Christmas Carol, Alice's Adventures Under the Ground, Voltaire. The Bible is down here somewhere. Gotta find it.
I just watched that not too long ago. It is available on YouTube. Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, is it?
The Peter Sellers movies on YouTube.
Cool. Oh, Legend of Sleepy Hollow. That's just bad. The United States Declaration of Independence. We got to get rid of that, man. That's just bad.
Oh, they've been trying for years.
So why
centuries.
Why are they banning this stuff?
Okay, so the EU. Oh, here's the Bible. Old Testament, New Testament, King James Bible. Just ban that thing. Let's get it out of here. So this, of course, the French government through EU's Interpol system sent the Internet Archive a list of things to take down, including everything on this page. Of course, we have PubMed. If you're unfamiliar with PubMed, you probably don't have a PhD in the medical field. PubMed is where all of your actual science journals are published too. This is a government site that archives all of the science. So anything that is government funded or a peer-reviewed journal article will be found on PubMed. Not always for free, but issues. But this is basically an archive of all of these types of things. You can get on and find all of the scientific archives that make up the foundation of our science. Yes, PubMed needs to be completely removed from the internet because, no, we don't need science. Science bad, people. Science bad. And if you guys think science bad... Here's the thing.
They only want to make this stuff available for people to see that are privileged. Mm-hmm. And the rest of everybody that has internet access can no longer see any of it.
Yeah,
I don't really see the point in banning all of this stuff. This isn't Nazi.
It's to dumb down society.
Or it's just a rogue bot.
Or it's just a rogue bot, but it's a rogue bot that's doing probably what they want it to do.
I'm pretty sure this is Skynet right here. Ban information. All right, Pizza, give you the floor for thoughts on this.
I think if America did this, people would go crazy.
You know we would.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
In fact, this reminds me of, if you watch V for Vendetta, remember the openings, not the opening scene, but the opening, the opening act, he blows up the building to 1812 Overture, right? And it's like, the sound, the music, it was the 1812 Overture by Tchaikovsky. Ban it! I never want to hear it again! It's like, that's where we're going right now. Quint, you got the floor. Thoughts?
This is just all ridiculous stuff to ban.
Yeah.
Really.
So are you going with the rogue bot theory?
Yeah, I think they're just They're just like, oh, we need to make this robot that's gonna ban everything on the internet, and this is gonna dumb our society.
Absolutely. Vince.
Do we think that whoever programmed that bot needs to lose their job?
Probably. Oh, here.
Yes.
I just found it. We're gonna play a game of spot the bad stuff. This is it right here because their symbol is the Illuminati eye. I'm telling you. We found it.
Like I said, only the privileged can see.
BYU campus publications. That's right, man. Brigham Young. Get
What
rid of
article
them.
is this on?
Does it say anywhere if there's an appeals process?
No, I don't have one. All right. This is on here. I'm going to put this in. I'll put this in the Hangouts chat and I'll put it over in the public chat as well.
The Internet Archive
So
one?
this is the blog post. I just posted the link for the blog post for the Internet Archive where they are going through this. Oh, free music. Yeah, go ahead.
I just hope that even if they remove it from the public net, that they don't delete the data, though. Like, because when people come to their senses, it needs to go back up, doesn't it?
Yeah, and of course,
Yeah,
this
they'll
will
just
be
put a switch on it.
ban it in the EU. The pink talking fish. Look at that. The Nectar Lounge.
I mean, that's the thing, though. Even though it's banned halfway across the world, it's still going to affect us because we can't access it.
Mm-hmm.
You can if you dial in over here.
Just through, if you do it just through IP restrictions, which is the common way of doing it. But that also, though, puts those societies at a great disadvantage because they don't have the benefit of the old knowledge.
Wait, so what country is archive.org from?
I believe it's the United States, is it not? Pretty sure it's the United States.
Yeah. So
they're banning us. How dare them?
So
right.
could they be like no? Could they just say no since they're in a different country?
Well, the problem is since it's accessible over there, they'll be hit with fines of certain percentage, like 5%.
Pete's saying we should show them some fingers.
Yeah. Accept the fines.
Fingers.
Just don't pay the fines. They can't enforce it because it's a different country.
Well, they can't, and that raises one of these questions. This is why some people want globalism as a thing. I'm going to see what people are saying here in the comments here. You can't debate when you have no freedom of speech. Ooh, very good. Ripped free knowledge. Overreach, what the government is doing. Yeah. Said plenty of times that they are treating the internet like the printing press. Accidental deletion. Hello, Anarita. Nicholas is on. Greetings. Should have checked your sources so you don't look silly. My source is the blog post for the Internet Archive. Let's see.
It's like going to the library and banning half of the books in it.
And like we said, for clarity, it wasn't the EU as much as it was a French group. Now, I had 4 points of 4 notes that we wanted to talk about. Number 1 is the internet is written in ink. Whether we like it or not, whatever we post on the internet is going to be and stay on the internet. And so this is a good thing and it is a bad thing. This is why, on the one hand, you don't want to come out posting all of your personal information on social media sites if you don't need to. There's a lot of dangers that particularly our younger generations don't understand, that the internet is indeed written in ink. And if you've ever read 1984, remember that Winston's job, the main character's job his employer, is his task is to change history. Literally, it's like a news article comes down, they take the news article, they rewrite it, they send that back up in the archive history and burn the original. That's what his job was in 1984. It's this form of revisionist history. And when you wipe out the Internet Archive, you erase a lot of it. And so that is kind of the first point I want to talk about. Internet is written in ink. Dan, thoughts?
Well, these kids are coming home with different historical facts than I was taught when I went to school. Now that you're on that subject. But, this... I don't know what to think about it. I'm so upset about it. making my veins, my head pop out.
Because
it's like history repeating themselves. It's like the privileged people are, you know, I'm not going to mention a war, but the people that wanted to take power burned the books, so the people didn't have any information to go on. The money became worthless. The wheelbarrows were worth more than the money they took the money home in. And, you know, it's slowly going in that direction where the powerful are going to be in that area.
Yeah.
And that's how I brought up, because we're one of the last countries on the planet, really, that people can freely own guns if there's if they're law-abiding citizens and have no records.
Yeah, correct. I'm going to comment something here. Nicholas has talked about this. It's a hoax up for debate. No. Okay, this is a different thing than the EU laws that they're pushing through, which most likely will pass. They're still up for, there's another final procedural vote. Predictions are it's going to pass. But this issue here is different than the laws dealing with 13 and 11, well, whatever their current numbers are. They've changed their numbers. Because this is a government request to take something down because it is linked to, quote, terrorism. And that is what we're discussing. We're not talking about the content filters, the upload filters, and all these types of things. We're talking about the fact that a government agency can request a takedown of something because it supports certain organizations. Very much like why there was the controversy in the president declaring the Security Council for the UAE, or is it UEA, whatever it is, as a terrorist organization, because that potentially impacts millions and millions and millions of people and makes millions of people, quote, aiding terrorists when in reality they weren't prior to that simple declaration. That's kind of what we're talking about. It's a more complicated issue, and that's why it's worth having a discussion about. All right, so internet written in ink. Pizza, go ahead.
I think a better saying would be the internet is written in erasable pen, because you can't erase it, but if you put it back in the freezer, it comes back. So if you delete a YouTube post, it might look like it's gone, but somebody could have downloaded it, and it's like freezing something you erased with an erasable pen, because erasable pens use heat. So it may look like it's gone, but it's still there. You just have to freeze it.
There you go. All right. Quint.
Really, I feel like that. I feel like the majority of, I think you probably agree with this, Pizza, that a lot of our generation doesn't understand that at all, that the internet is written in ink and cannot be erased. But the thing is, really, is they just need to start educating more people and saying basically that the internet is written in ink and that anything you put up there is going to stay on there forever.
And it's not the kids' fault; it's their parents for not educating them.
You guys got to keep in mind too. They keep making storage and hard drives larger and larger and larger. That enables them to store infinite amount of information forever.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But I think that we need to educate people about all the data collection and the fact that people will download their posts if it's embarrassing or repost it.
Yep. Vince.
So, I mean, I've been on the internet since the late 1990s. And when I first discovered that archive.org existed and it was actually actively archiving a lot of the historical content, I was actually really, really glad, because that stuff needed to be saved. And because good or bad, if it's happening, it needs to be, it's part of our history. It's part of our, and now I'm getting to a philosophical type of discussion here, but it's part of what we are as a human race. It'd be like trying to erase World War II from history books because, you know, people didn't like what happened.
Yeah. And if you erase it, it just comes back.
Over here, they try to erase it.
Yeah, I mean, what's that saying? If you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say without giving out so many facts.
Yeah, or as Rush wrote in a song, history is a new wrinkle we are doomed to repeat.
I don't want to get Tom's, video demonetized or anything.
Oh, it's probably already there, be my guess.
I don't have to worry about that because I don't even have monetization.
Yeah. All right. So, of course, the second one we've touched on this a little bit, but who issued the takedown and why? If this legitimately is a a bot, it raises some serious issues as to what a bot can do. And maybe we need to have maybe have the bot curate the stuff and have a human sign off on it before it goes through. STS Tech, I put the links up on Patreon and Think Life Media, so you can grab them from over there. All right, so with that, who issues the takedowns and why? Do they have personal vendettas? Are these people issuing takedowns because they don't like the content, or is there a review process involved? Are there 4 different people? Like, I think if anything ever gets taken down, you need to have a complete left-wing person and a complete right-wing person sitting there at the desk, and if they both agree, it needs to come down. Of course, that means nothing will ever come down, but that's my thought. Vince, we'll start with you this time. Who issues takedowns and why? Why is this important in your end?
That's a difficult question. There needs to be some sort of committee, like you say, of a wide range of people from all walks of life, young and old, to decide. I don't know who gets that power.
Yeah. That's a big question. Quint.
They really do need someone who is basically signing off on everything, because if the bot just continues to delete stuff, pretty much everything on the internet that they disagree with is going to be gone. Mm-hmm. So I feel like if this bot is just going crazy right now, and if they don't do anything to slow down the process and make it go through extra verification, pretty much probably a quarter of our internet will be gone.
Mm-hmm. Pizza. You're muted. Pizza, you're muted.
Sorry, I know. Sorry, I was responding to something in the chat. It said that it has not been voted on yet.
Nicholas, I addressed these like 2 minutes ago. Like I exactly addressed what you're talking about.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with those regulations they're voting on. This is completely to do with the government's ability to request something taken down for political reasons.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Pizza.
Honestly, I wasn't paying attention because I was responding.
That's fine.
Sorry.
That's fine. Dan, go ahead.
First of all, now that they've released this ugly old bot, can they turn it off? Second of all,
no.
Second of all, yeah, right. It's out there running around, crawling through the internet, and there's no off switch. Mm-hmm. Second of all, I believe even though you have something like this going on, there should be some human eyes looking at it. And there should also be a appeal process if something does get taken down by a council of, let's say, 12, maybe 20 people or something like that. Not just 2 people, but a considerable amount of people should be able to review this and see if it's fair to have it removed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
a surprising update, we are still monetized. I don't know how, but anyway, go ahead, Pizza.
Sure.
Another question though is if the EU can do it with a bot, or if it is a bot, how do we know that other companies aren't trying to censor us with bots or anything, mm-hmm. or AI?
And that raises a fascinating question on search engines. In fact, what's the name of that channel? I just watched that video the other day. TruthStream Media. TruthStream Media just did a video yesterday on the myth of the unbiased search engine. Definitely worth watching because looking at the biases and things, it was an okay movie or an okay video, but it wasn't like I thought that there was a little weak in some of his presentation, but nevertheless, go check it out anyway. It's a great video. So I still say monkeys are making these decisions in a hidden room down in the basement while drinking on the job. Yes. Get them boys, get them boys some bananas. Because they've all gone bananas. Put your far left and far right into the same room together. Someone will end up hurt or worse. Sad but true. Probably.
You never know. This could be just a test to see how the masses would react.
This is very true. This is very true. Oh, Metal Gear Solid 2 predicted this. Really?
What happens in Metal Gear Solid?
I don't know. I'll have to go check it out.
Too.
Yeah. All right. So here's where we will get a little bit more controversial potentially. My fourth point here. I'm going to skip my third point because I think it's kind of benign. But my fourth point: current teaching on dangerous things should definitely be taken down. Do you agree or disagree? Why? Dan, we'll start with you this time.
I think when it comes to things like making explosive anything, I think that information should not be posted as direct instructions. And if they are
Not
up
simply.
as direct instructions, it should be removed.
Yeah.
I mean, if it shouldn't be that easy for someone to learn how to do something like that. And somebody that's going to do something like that, it should be a chemist or any, something like that anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know my fair share of how to do that kind of stuff because,
Right. And I do too. I grew up on a
doctoral level
farm.
chemist. Yeah, you grew up on a farm. I'm a doctoral level chemist, so.
On a farm, anything that burned, you played with it. But
yeah.
but that sensitive stuff, maybe we should keep it off the internet. But anything else that's educational for somebody wanting to know something because they're inquisitive about it, it should be left alone.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Which is like most of Wikipedia.
Yeah.
If any of that stuff in there is even true.
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff looking at Wikipedia going, like over a third of Wikipedia is done by one person.
What?
Yeah.
The majority of
I heard
Wikipedia
about that.
is done by like one person.
That person's smart.
Yeah.
No, that person's one heck of a encyclopedia salesman.
Yeah. Pizza, on to you. Should certain types of material be taken off the internet?
So dangerous stuff, no, because what is considered dangerous? It's too vague. Also, what if you get stuck in a James Bond movie?
Okay, these are valid points. Okay. And I would say, okay, anyway, go ahead, Quint, thoughts. Dangerous stuff be taken off the internet or not?
I have an example. This doesn't really relate to the internet, but in health class, we were watching a movie on meth. And it was, I think it was like a National Geographic movie. It was something like History or National Geographic. Like it was some big reputable company that made the movie. And in one part of the movie, my teacher obviously skipped over this, but in one part of the movie, they showed you how to make meth and they showed the process and everything, which I honestly think that they really shouldn't be showing stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that really applies to the internet too. Like even if some big firm puts out something like that, I do think it should be taken down.
They just don't want the school to be responsible for you running out and starting a meth lab when you could get on Netflix and watch Breaking Bad and they show you how to do it right on that show.
I don't think they should. I don't think stuff like that should be allowed.
But
Be right back.
I don't think so either, really.
Okay. Vince.
Sorry, I just got distracted because I apparently got signed out of YouTube, which is weird.
Huh. Interesting.
So, I mean, my initial thoughts were that, get rid of all the dangerous stuff. But then I was thinking, but what's bad for someone might actually be good for someone, because say you're some freedom fighter in deep Africa, and you need instructions about how to make explosives to battle your oppressive overlords. Then you need that, right? So where's the responsibility? I would say, where's the responsibility on people who are actually looking this stuff up? Hold them accountable as well. People who are looking this stuff up to do bad things.
Yeah. So we've actually had 2 good points for, 2 good points against. So here's kind of my initial thoughts. So my undergrad advisor, which was in chemistry, she says we should just give all these 13-year-olds this information and the stupid ones will blow themselves up. She was a pure evolutionist, Darwin theory, wipe out the stupidity from our gene pool. That was literally her viewpoint. So I'm not completely sure I go that far, but Pizza made a good thing that we addressed earlier is, did we have, did we define it? Vince makes a good point. What about helping people out? Literally helping people who are being oppressed, giving them the tools they need to fight their oppression. If we talk about human rights and avoiding oppression, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, there's valid reason to keep some stuff online. If it's specifically step for step how to make a certain type of thing that you can strap onto yourself to take down the infidel, I'd be a little bit less comfortable with that. Maybe just saying, let's have the information available like it used to be. We have textbooks, we have teachers, we have things like that, and you can learn how to do it, but then I don't know. So it is a very difficult question to answer. It does come down to, again, the intention.
It was easy for me to say what I said because it's really easy for me to go over to my gun locker and get a firearm to protect my house with,
Yeah.
That's why I said, the real explosive stuff, it shouldn't be real easy to obtain that knowledge. Mm-hmm. However, if somebody really wants to get it, they're going to get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's my point as well. If they get the knowledge, the responsibility is on them and what they do with the knowledge, isn't it?
Yeah, and so that's a valid point. I can go in and make all that and gather all that knowledge, and I know how to do a lot of that kind of stuff. I make my own soaps. I do, make, of course, my own foods. I have a few other interesting projects going on I might unveil soon. And I have enough decency to not produce something dangerous and go use it somewhere it shouldn't be used. But, if there's a zombie apocalypse, my house is a good place to go to. Okay? I got off-grid solar systems if I need it. I got, 5,000 rounds of ammo laying around. I'm good. I'm okay. I know how to go into the woods and forage for food. I'm good. But I got enough decency not to go out into the world and just, let's go show everyone how to do stuff. All right, little boys and girls in the neighborhood, today I'm going to teach you how to make meth. That's not right. So I liked what Quint said, utilizing that thing. Yeah, I think in a school setting, to see the consequence of it, they could have left out that piece very easily. That's that. Greetings, Ben. How's it going?
Pretty good, you?
Not too bad. So, Ben, what's your thoughts? If there's something that teaches you how to do something seriously dangerous online, should it be taken off or not taken offline?
Not taken off. You haven't done anything yet.
Okay, so it's up to the... So the knowledge is okay as long as you're not actually actively using it.
At that point, it's still a theoretical exercise.
That's a valid point.
Another thing is maybe you want to know how not to do something dangerous.
Yeah, that's a valid point. Sure, the same knowledge that will teach me how to make something dangerous by mixing bleach and ammonia can also teach me not to mix bleach and ammonia in my house. Valid point.
Yep.
And that produces chlorine gas. For those curious.
We're actually doing chemicals in my school's science class.
Ooh, what kind of chemicals?
Just electronic ones. We just match together the atoms.
Oh, like electrochemistry? Or are you actually doing experiments?
No, we're doing experiments through the computer using amplified.
They're making a particle accelerator.
What? Dude, you gotta get real chemicals. It's no fun simulating on computers. You gotta get real chemicals.
Yeah.
Dude, we used to have the iodine clock. You guys familiar with the iodine clock experiment? This is a great one. So, It deals with chemical reaction rates, and chemicals can react in predictable things. And so I gave my students bonus points if they told me within, it's like, here's your chemicals, measure it out. And if you can get the reaction to trigger exactly this point in time, you get 20 bonus points. If it's within 3 seconds, you get 10. If it's within 5 seconds, you get 5. If it's outside of 10 seconds, you're just a failure at chemistry. So it's an iodine experiment. You mix it in, you have this solid black color, and then as the reaction goes, all of a sudden, instantly, it's going to turn white at a predictable period of time. Love that experiment. Here, go ahead, Pete.
So we have this thing called the Amplify curriculum, where we have to do stuff on a simulation, and basically on a piece of paper, we have to write down and explain what's going on.
How boring!
That class is the easiest A, and I don't think I've learned a thing in that class.
That's exactly why we are losing.
Yeah, when I went to school, you played with the real stuff. No computers allowed.
You know what you need to do, Pizza? You need to go ask your science teacher, hey, next week, can we make soap?
I guess I've learned that if you mix water, or if you mix H2O with more H2O, it just turns into to oxygen and hydrogen. It like splits.
No,
it's
you
like
have to
when
use electricity to take it apart.
That's what we do in the simulation. It's
called electrolysis.
If you're doing electrolysis to blend it, but that only occurs if you're using gold or platinum as anodes and cathodes, because otherwise
you
it
can
will
use
break
copper
the anodes and cathodes apart instead.
Copper and zinc is what we use.
We are veering off the path quickly. Let me go ahead and look through some of these comments here. We can discuss this more as we get there. Who decides what's dangerous? Kevin White brings that up as well. That definition is ethereal as a definition as assault weapon. That is very true. So by dangerous means you could mix it together and predictably cause something that would hurt another person. Would that work as dangerous? Nothing should be blocked from the internet. Okay. Twitter employees were talking about it, if the bot behind it. Okay. EU Parliament is not serving the interests of EU citizens anymore. Yeah, they sold Europe to the highest bidder. Yep.
What?
Fake news should be taken out, but the question then is what's fake news? Because our current definition of fake news is something the certain views don't agree with. New World Order group deciding on all this. Oh boy. Kitty, don't knock my camera off the desk again.
I'm logging into it, so near the end of the stream, I could show you what we have to do.
ban knowledge. If you take down gun build instructions, machinists will teach you how to do it. Yeah. Q1 Fiend just got home from work. You'll hop on soon. All right. Greetings. It looks like I'm about 2 or 3 minutes behind on the comments, but we're doing way better on the comments today. Take down drug cooking instructions. People will just move around atoms. I mean, their high school chemistry class stuff. 100% correct. Similar to fire, can be used for good or evil. Dangerous things can also be used for good or evil. Yeah. Taking dangerous stuff off the internet assumes all people are going to use the knowledge in the wrong purpose. That's a valid point. Just don't take any instructions from 4chan.
All right, I pulled up the simulation if you guys want to see it.
Yeah, go ahead and jump it up.
Okay. So right here, so I can add a substance. And I could choose a substance, any of these, and I could click on one like chlorine, and then I could click on another one like hydrogen, and then hit test, and then it combines. It shows what they're doing right here, how they interact, and then when it's done, it shows what molecules I made out of it. So then I hit results, and it's identifying. Oh, cool. Out of hydrogen and chloride, I made hydrogen chloride. Did I say chloride? I meant chlorine.
It's hydrogen chloride is the name of it.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
But you can't play with the hydrogen chloride you just made.
Oh, I can view the atomic scale and the properties.
Although if you
That's
were,
the
here's
You
the
can't
biggest,
physically play with it.
and here's another challenge though, is that chlorine and hydrogen in those conditions won't do anything.
What
So
about
it's not even
if I
active
combine-
chemistry. You have
Here,
to have some
honestly,
type of
they-
catalyst in there to make it work.
So if I have 2 water molecules, this is what happens. When they get electrified or whatever, they just they bump into each other, and then the atoms unconnect. I don't know the word, and then if I get hydrogen and oxygen out of
Yeah, but
H2O.
here's the thing: if you take hydrogen and oxygen together and mix them together like that simulation just did, nothing happens. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
No.
They are giving you the biggest piece of baloney in the name of education. There's nothing about that. It is all correct. All right, nothing.
Wow,
That program needs to be destroyed. No, we're talking about banning everything.
That's not the only simulation they have. They also have phase changes. They have one for the reproductive system. They have one for erosion and stuff.
If they are all as scientifically accurate as that chemistry one is, man, you are going to leave school a very dumb person.
Do they have a?
That is really poor.
Do they have a dissection simulation?
I wish they did.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap the stream part up, and we'll keep on hanging out after we are done with the stream portion, just so we stay on target. So let's just kind of go final words around the table. Ben, we'll start with you. Final words on EU 451.
Knowledge is not inherently evil. It's what you do with it.
Okay, very good. All right, Dan.
I really think this needs to get a second look. I really believe that it's an overreach into the wrong area. Like I said before, it's the powers that be exercising their will under their new orders they just passed, and for all we know, could be something they really want to accomplish, or it could be a test to see how people react.
All right, Pizza. Hey, STS, how's it going?
It took forever. Go ahead, Pizza.
I really don't think we should be banning stuff, even if it was super dangerous information.
Although I would be in favor of banning your scientific simulator there.
Yeah, me too.
But if they ban it, it's just going to go to the dark web. That's what's going to happen, and they can't enforce anything on the dark web.
All right, Quint, final thoughts.
Really, hold on, let me get back to this thing. So really, I just feel like that if all the people are going to use VPNs and stuff to get all around this, it's not going to help, and the internet is going to be destroyed.
Yep.
Okay, VPNs are only.
Yep.
They could ban VPNs.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think that should it be taken down? That's a really hard question, one to chew on and sleep on. The ramifications, if it can be taken down, what else can be taken down?
Yeah.
So, in the interest of the conversation earlier, I noticed somebody said to avoid things, you can see it to know not what to do. And because it is actually considered educational in that aspect, I think it stays up. I think it has to, and like somebody else said, you can't be guilty until you commit the crime. And in the U.S., we've always been innocent until proven guilty. Well, it seems like we have moved to guilty until proven innocent, and that is a major issue in this country.
It is.
Absolutely.
Other than that, on just a side note to what Quint was saying, VPNs are getting outsmarted by a lot of the major websites. I have noticed in the past a few of the big boys will actually forbid a VPN, or they'll say like you can't use certain features of the site, or they just will tell you turn the VPN off or you don't use this site. I have seen that happen.
Sort of the same thing like ad blockers, where sometimes a site will say, "Turn off your ad blocker."
Well,
I think Hulu did it.
Sites that are being banned, like the Internet Archive, would obviously not do that.
Yeah, Internet Archive was like, we don't care. All right, Vince, thoughts?
Yeah.
I just think that at the end of the day, it seems like it's just some stupid bot that's some stupid programmer made that just overreached. And I think it'll wash over and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So cheer up, guys. Cheer up.
That's my final thought. True, too, as well. It's like there's nothing else would explain such a crazy.
But can they turn the bot off when it's done?
That's a good question. Or say, hey, anything that the bot identifies must be manually reviewed first. I mean, they want to do it for us. A bot could demonetize my videos, and then I request a manual review. Why don't we? And I've never had a video that came back and said, "Oh no, there's something wrong with this." Why don't the bot call up for a review and then it does it? Now of course on a platform like YouTube, it's a little different thing. I don't think so. I have another screen pulled up right now, so I'm not going to check it, but that's okay.
That is surprising.
Yeah. So my final take home is that's kind of it. Is that I agree with Vince. This is probably a bot doing this, but we've had a great discussion about the different things in here. So with that being said, we're going to wrap this one up, but I will be doing another stream at 9 o'clock in 1 hour on my other channel. You can see the link for it there. People have always asked me, being a Christian and pretty high level science educated guy, of asking my opinions about creation, evolution, whatever else. And I was actually going to use Bill Nye's Undeniable book as an outdoor philosophy, and I decided it was not worth my time reading. It's literally the ramblings of a madman. And so I'm going to be discussing why I don't get into that debate personally and do just a brief synopsis of the book on that stream. So it'll be an interesting one, a little bit different, but it'll be an interesting live stream. We're gonna be looking at that particular book. So with that, thanks for hanging out. Yep, go ahead, Mark.
I was just gonna say, Bill Nye is an absolute pathetic excuse for the science community.
Oh, yeah.
All he ever was is a face, a representation, and he's a rather poor one at that. And that may even be worse.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry.
Yeah, he's an engineer. All right, dude, Nicholas, I've addressed your stuff so many times. I'm just gonna keep removing your comments, dude.
Here, I can ban him.
No, don't ban him.
For 5 minutes.
I don't want him banned. I'm just like, dude, I've addressed your comments 15 times. This is not a hoax. I've given you links. Shut up. Quite literally.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. deGrasse Tyson is someone I respect. Even though he's not a Christian, I understand that. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah. He's someone I respect.
All right. But we'll continue that over there. I'm going to go ahead and jump this stream off for now so we can hang out over here for a little bit before I have to jump over there. So thanks for coming along, guys, and have a look at all the links and things. If you want to help support the channel.
All right, thanks.